Hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways. Yeah, we got a few clouds moving in and the winds are starting to pick up. And don't know what's going to happen here. They said there was a chance of rain for today and tomorrow. Well, today never happened. It was clear skies most of the day with a few scattered clouds here and there. And my neighbor just texted there's a fire over there, and it looks like they're getting a handle on that one. There's just smoke hanging in the air right now. But we got some clouds coming in from that direction too. But none of it looks like really threatening for rain. But just in case, I did put my power tools away because I didn't want to have them sit out here in the rain, and that's probably why it won't rain. If I'd have left them out, it would have poured on them, right? Okay, so I did do some more work in here. I got some more wires cleaned up down in here, and it looks a lot better, don't you think? Now, one of the things I got to do is this wire. I don't know how it got wrapped around that wire, but I'm going to disconnect it. And I may as well do it now because I don't need the fan blowing. So I'll clip that on there, and then I can, oh, isn't that something? Trying to get it untangled, and I tangled it some more. So I'm going to move that around like that. And I was worried about the alligator clips touching each other. It just goes to a fan. There's no power in them yet. So let me put this one back where it belongs. There. And if I clip this on here, I should get fan. Yep. Okay, so I don't need that running right now, so I'll take that off. But anyway, I did clean up some of the wiring. I moved my my hybrid charge controller down here. All that has is 200 watts of Harbor Freight solar panels coming into it, and then it runs down and charges these batteries. Now that one, that Renogy Rover, is actually also tied to these batteries, and I think that one's got like 600 or 800 watts coming in on it too. So I've got plenty of power going into these two big batteries here. Those are the L series on the Trojan brand. Big heavy duty batteries. These were the two best ones that were left over from the old lead acid battery bank. And those will be going away pretty soon. Now I'm going to be moving this one, which is a 12.8 by 100 amp hour, but it's a big group 31 size. I'm going to be moving that one over here, but I want to clean up a little more wiring here. A lot of that is just excess wire coiled up and stuck together. So I'm looking for a piece of wood in my shop or whatever that I can put all of that inside the wall and put it on that back wall there, and then move this over there. So just so it looks better. It won't be a permanent fix. It's just something to make it look better. But before I do all of that, there's some holes, and I see light coming through back there where wires come in from outside. And we're going to have the moth season here pretty soon, so the moths will definitely crawl in through those holes and fill this room up. Now there's a bunch of dead moth stuff down here on the ground because I moved the inverter that way 2 inches and refastened it, but behind it was full of moth wings and stuff. So I will be going outside with my caulking gun, and I've got a couple of wires that are from old Harbor Freight panels that are dead, that are pushed out almost all the way. Huh. I hear a UFO. Wow. Anyway, I pushed them out to where they're just the ends are stuck in. And I got to go on the other side, pull them out the rest of the way, and then I'll seal those holes before I put a board up on the wall, because it'll just become a home for moths. And then I'll get my vacuum, my shop vac over here, and I'll vacuum up all the junk on the bottom here and get that cleaned up. But I've got the two extra battery cables right there, positive and negative, that will go from this unit directly to the inverter, because this has its own little charge controller right there, which is a LiFePO4 charge controller from Batteria Power. And it's not a very big one. I think it's only like a 10 ampere. So I only have one set of 100 watt solar panels coming into it, but seems to be doing its job. So I'll move that over and hardwire it in, and on that one I'm going to put a battery post switch here, which is good for 100 amps, and since that's a 100 amp hour battery, that's what's going to go on. But that'll be just so I can disconnect it if I have to, if there's any problems. Just a quick click of the switch. Alright, so I wanted to show you that I had this done. Now we're going to move on outside, and we're going to head over to the van. I'll show you the 200 amp hour setup. Now I ran that all night long, where the 100 amp hour would not handle it. Of course, that was when it was a lot hotter, but I did run it one time on the smaller 100 amp hour, and overnight it kept on running. So anyway, here we are. We're at 94%, 188 amp hours in the battery, and I had a couple of comments, and one of the comments was that the charge controller negative should go to the other side of the shunt. Well, I said, well, let me give that a try. So I moved it over there, and the display started flashing. And in the instructions right here, it says that if there's a problem, the backlight will flash on and off. So that's what was going on. So I had to switch it back and put it over here. But I took off that cheap crimp ring terminal that was on here, and I put this soldered one on there, which is a much better fitting anyway. And I found room to snap on one cap, and I'm going to snap on the other cap here while I'm at it. Okay, so another comment I had, that's to protect anything from dropping and shorting out across those. Let's see, what was the other one? Oh yeah, if you guys noticed, while I was doing this connection yesterday, I disconnected the battery terminals from that battery without disconnecting the solar from my charge controller. And I've said to people over and over again, always connect battery first, solar panel second. Always disconnect solar panels first, battery second. I didn't do that, and I was caught, and somebody said, hey, you shouldn't do that. Well, you're right, I shouldn't do that. It's not good practice. But it was the end of the day, and the sun was actually on the other side of the shipping containers, and there was no direct sunlight onto my solar panels at the time I did that. So I wasn't too worried about it. You don't want to ever do that when your panels are under load, when they're really absorbing sunlight, if you do that, you could arc, and most of the time what it does is it blows the diode in the controller on the solar panel, and then the solar panel doesn't work, and then you have to take the diode out and put a new one in to get your panel to work again. But I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of knew that I was pretty much safe at the time that I was doing it. Sometimes what I'll do is throw a blanket like that shipping blanket there over the top of the panels, just to take the load off of them so that I could do something like that. It'll act like the panels aren't there if they're covered. But I didn't do that yesterday, so I got caught, and I just promised that I would address that in today's episode. Okay. So I'm going to also post a couple of battery pics, pictures I took. One was before I went to bed last night, and the other one was when I got up in the morning. And it was about this, the readings on this monitor right here. And I wanted to show you what I had going to bed and what I had when I woke up in the morning. So it's been out here getting a charge all day, so I'm back up at 94%, and it's saying that I have almost 28 hours left of power left in this battery, and it's down at 13.2, and there's my draw on it is only 6.7 amps and 89 watts. Well, that means the refrigerator is running. I also had somebody tell me that I should fill up the airspace in here with anything that would take up space so that it doesn't have to run to keep the air cool in there. And that's true. And I do that in my cabin refrigerator and freezer. I keep a lot of stuff in there, and if I don't have anything, I'll actually freeze water. And then if I have a problem, I need to shut things down and work on the power, I can put the ice blocks and that stuff in my refrigerators to keep everything cold while I'm working. So just wanted to specify that I did know about that. But the reason that I don't have this one full of stuff except for some water that I drink when it's hot out, I like to have some cold water to drink. And the only reason I keep a couple bottles of that in here is I wanted this thing to work at full capacity. I wanted it to be the worst case scenario of running as many times, as often as it can, so that it would show how much the battery would be able to handle it. And also, I kept the windows on the van and the doors on the van all closed. So with the sun beating on the van, well, you know how hot it gets inside your car on a hot day, right? Well, it was extra hot inside of here, so this refrigerator was working overtime to stay cool. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to show the worst case scenario of how much the battery would handle. And these batteries, I'm going to say it once and I'll say it again, I am very impressed with WattCycle and their equipment. And I just had somebody contact me about the shunt and battery monitor today, and I gave them the information and the link to the official website, which is in the description of the video. You can find that in there. And he'd been looking for one of these monitors, and the prices were just outrageous. So he looked at the price of this one and he said, oh my God, I'm going to order one of those right now. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. These guys, the prices on the stuff they have here is really, really affordable. This battery, with discounts and everything, is just around $500. And if you know anything about LiFePO4 batteries, heck, $500 for one of these batteries is peanuts. So that's a discount price, and that's a really good price and a good way to go. Now I've got another one that they're looking into for me. WattCycle also has a 300 amp hour battery, which is actually only a little bit bigger than that one down there. It's not a humongous thing like this, and it's got an extra 100 amp hours. Now that one, if I can get a hold of that one to review, I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in it. But for right now, great discounts on this 200 amp hour, and if you got the room for it, get one of these. It really holds its own. And don't forget to get yourself a battery monitor. Now I'm going to be making up a little metal sheet or wood sheet, one of the two, that this can snap into. It's got little clips on the side, and it snaps in there, and that'll keep it from bouncing around. When I'm driving now, I just take it out and put it down on the floor there so it doesn't bounce all over the place. That's it, everybody. Questions and comments and suggestions and all that stuff down below. I'm going to let this thing run again all night. It's going to keep running the refrigerator as I do my test, which, well, tomorrow I've got all kinds of things I got to do, get ready for the weekend. But over the weekend, weather permitting, I will be firing up the van and moving it over with where all my power tools were over there, and getting some work done, running power tools and running the refrigerator at the same time. And maybe even I'll plug in a light or a TV or something like that and run that in the background. So if I can get all that put together for the weekend, that'll be a real interesting video to see how long that battery lasts. Now I can hook that battery to this battery in parallel and get 300 amp hours out of it. So I may do that and see how far that goes. For those of you who want to know, if you can hook different size batteries together. Yes, you can, as long as they're the same voltage and as long as it's parallel. Thanks for joining me, everybody. This is Jeep Bear signing off.